Hey, what's going on, guys and gals? Hey, in this particular video, and I promise you, it has been a doozy. Okay, we got a lot of information going to be going on here. And what it is, we're going to see about getting the X32, the effects out of the USB cable for your live stream. Okay, now a couple things I want to show you in Reaper here. The stream left and stream right, this is coming from the USB input 1 and 2. If you're going to stream using something like Zoom, or you're going to use something like XSplit Broadcaster, Facebook Live, what they're looking for is they're looking for the inputs 1 and 2. Okay? And I'm going to show you a picture of that here in a second. I can't actually show it to you or it'll cut my Camtasia software out. But it's real easy to do once you get it figured out, okay? And that's what we're going to do here. Now I'm going to bring up a meter here. And this is actually my live stream here. Okay? So I'm looking at it, and right now my LUFs are coming in pretty hot. And what I want to do is I want to be, the AES recommends between the -16 and -20 on your LUFs for streaming audio. And we're going to control that with the compressor that we have on the actual mix buses for our stream. And that's how we're going to be able to figure it out. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to calm down a little bit here, and we're getting within that range. And as you can see over here, I'm not coming anywhere close to clipping. So that is a good thing. Now, also, I want you to, over here on the SM58 RAW, this is a channel 3. I do have the mic that I'm using right now, which is a Shure SM58, which is the same that I have plugged into channel 3. The only difference is I have this particular microphone on a boom arm that's coming up to where I'm using the proper mic technique, the proper mic placement. And on the SM58 that's raw, this is the one that's actually coming into Reaper. It's just further away, and I want you to notice the noise floor here when I stop speaking. Keep in mind that my meters that you see here, the yellow ones, they go down to 90 and -90 dBs. Okay, and I'll show you why this noise floor is much higher. It's all about the input gain, guys. Okay, you've heard me talk about it all the time. It's the proper input gain, and look at the difference in the 2 meters now when I stop speaking. Okay, so as you can see, that's quite a bit of difference there. So before we jump over into X32 Edit, I'd like to go up and make some acknowledgments, give 2 people their props, because this is what got me to the point where I could make the video. Okay. Now the first one is to Mr. Dave Allen, and Dave runs a YouTube site up here called Allen House. He deals with the X32 desk a lot. He does a lot of awesome videos. And this total video, as you can see right over here, 13 minutes and 7 seconds long. And I was able to follow him all the way up to 9 minutes and 45 seconds. And with no exaggeration, I probably watched this video close to 45 or 50 times from 9:45 over to the end. Okay, I just could not make the light bulb go off. If you're using a desk, this is awesome advice, but for the rack guys, it's not the same. Okay, it just does not work the same. And you know, I forgot that #1 rule. Okay, we can do everything the desk can do if you've got the X32 rack, if you've got an S16, SD16, even the SD32, we have the same capability as the desk. I think the only 2 differences is the desk has the faders, of course, and they also have a second headphone jack. Okay. Now, the second person, I'm going to call him the Grizzly, Mr. Otto Bear. Now, Otto does a lot of work. He's up there in our community, guys. He's got a group expert next to his name for a reason. When Otto speaks, he's pretty well like E.F. Hutton. If you're not familiar with that, just Google the commercial, because when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. Okay? And Otto was kind enough. We come up here, did a quick Zoom call. And like I said, I was able to follow Dave on his video all the way up to 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Otto came up there. We did a Zoom call. He looked at my screens. Everything checked out. And it was a simple matter of 2 mouse clicks. Okay, let me see. 1, actually 3 mouse clicks. And everything just fell right into place. Okay, so that's what we're going to go look at. Okay, so here we are in X32 Edit. And as you can see, I'm connected over here with the S16, which I'm not even using right now. I am connected up here to my rack. This is the SM58 that I'm using for the stream. This is the one right here that's running into Reaper. And I apologize, that doesn't really sound correct. They're both running into Reaper, but the SM58 here is running in through the stream bus, as you can see there. When I click on it, that's our sends on faders. It's going into the stream, as well as the drum machine, okay? So if I unmute the drum machine, that's what you're going to hear. Okay, and I've simply got this running into input 7 and 8. So let's go and start with the basics, okay? Number 1, everything has to be on post fader, okay, in order for this to work. So the first thing we do, guys, is we come up here and we label our channels. That makes it very easy for what we want to send into our stream. The second thing is we come down and we label the buses that we're going to use for our stream. Okay. Now, as you can see here on the left, I do have it linked. One good thing about using the bus is we have some channel processing we can do. We've got the EQ that I've added in here. We've got the compressor that I've used, just a little bit of compression on it. Okay, like I said, the EQ, taking out a little bit of the muddiness there around the 430 hertz. Putting a little more up on the high end just to give it a little bit of what they call shine or sparkle. And raising up the lows just a little bit. I changed this, it was a low shelf. Okay, I didn't want all that extra coming in there, so I changed it down to PEQ. And the Q on there it's not too hateful right there. It's a pretty good slope that goes up with it. Okay. So on the FX over here, this is what I'm using to run it into. As you can see, when I stop speaking, when you're mastering, and that's what we're trying to do, we're trying to master this stream. So I want my compression to be somewhere around that -2 to -3. My input gain's a -4 that got me here. My threshold, I'm running over here to the 9 position. This doesn't actually have a dB mark. This is the dual fare compressor. Okay, the time right here, this is the reaction time. How far are your, how fast is the compression going to kick in? How fast is it going to relieve? And then my output gain is set to 0. And if we come over here and look at our meters, as you can see, just from my vocals here, are coming in much louder than the house mix. That's 5 and 6. The outputs, the mix bus, that's going to USB 1 and 2. And then I've got my main set at my outputs on XLR output 7 and 8. Everything is set to 0 if you look over here on the right. Okay. And so I've still got plenty of room here if I want to go louder in the mains. So let's go back over here now to our channels. Okay. We're going to go to our sends. As you can see here, I've got this over here by doing the sends on fader with the stream. That's what that is. I'm sending this to the FX2 send. Remember, guys, they go in mono, they come out stereo. If you look up here, it is post fader. Okay, that's very, very important. Everything that you're going to send, like I said, into the stream, you need to do this post fader, especially the FX. So if we come over here and we look at what bus 13 is, this is what it is right here. This is what I'm using. And I apologize. Was I using 13 or 14? I think I was using 13 on this. Okay, let me just come up here and look at my sends again. Bus 14. Okay, so I was using the hall reverb. right here. So with this being on bus 14, okay, I want to back up, and I apologize for this, guys, but there's a lot of information here. Okay. Channel 1, this is going to our stream. If I come down here to the mix bus right here, this stream, okay, and you can see the main out, it is not going through the main stereo. It is simply going to the stream. Okay. And I've got the compressor set after, okay, after the EQ and the channel strip on the stream on bus on that channel strip. So it goes through the EQ first, then the compressor. Okay, and then it goes through this compressor right here. Okay, we don't want the stream going through the mains. Okay, so if it sounds a little confusing, I apologize. You got to remember, I just learned about this morning. I've been after this for about 3 months now. Okay. Now, the second microphone here, the same way, we don't have it going through the main. We've got this strictly going through Reaper. So on this microphone right here, I do want it coming through the mains. This could be a pastoral mic. It could be a podium mic. It could be whatever kind of mic you want it to be. As you can see, I'm coming in right there at that -15 to -18 dBs. I like that. And then you would just simply adjust this with your drum machines or whatever you've got coming in to where it sounded good in the mix. Okay. Now, you may be using something from your auxiliary inputs. You know, maybe you're using a CD. Maybe you're using something from your phone. It really doesn't matter, because maybe you don't want the sanctuary to hear this. Maybe this is just for the streaming. People that are tuning into your stream. You know, maybe it's a commercial. Maybe it's something, whatever you want it to be. So you can separate those to where, you know, you can actually customize this just about any way that you want to. Okay. Now we're down here on the Aux and the FX. As you can see, I've got everything, and I mean everything here brought up to 0 except the FX send number 2. Because when I raise this up, if I raise this up, you can see how dramatic that sounds. Okay. So I'm going to bring that back down to that 51.5, somewhere close in there. And I leave everything up at 0, guys, because that's the fastest way you can tell when the effects are coming in. So all I have to do is solo mix bus number 5 and 6, which I'm using for my stream. And I can instantly hear this through the headphones, okay, that I can wear, I can put on. I'm not using them right now. I don't ever wear them when I do this. Again, as you can see right over here, I can adjust this FX to whatever I want. I'm sending, and that's what it is. FX 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And when we come up here and we look at this, let's see, we get up here. Let's go to sends. Even though we're not sending this to a matrix, it is still post fader, everything. But that's dealing with the matrix, so we don't have to worry about that. The inputs here, again, post fader. For this stream, post fader. Definitely must be post fader. Okay. And I know I keep emphasizing that because this is one of the things that tripped me up. Okay. So the Aux FX, everything coming in here, as you can see, when I'm on this screen, all of these are pulled down to infinity. Okay. If I was to raise this up, this would cause a potential feedback loop, and you're going to get nothing but squilling coming out of your mains, okay, or out of your stream. So when you're on this screen, auxiliary and FX, all of these get pulled down to 0. All we're doing is making sure that everything is up here on post fader. Okay, and I'm just going to cancel that. So we can go up here. Let's go ahead and turn this on. Stream left, stream right, panning options. Okay. Now let's go over to our recorder. And as you can see now, my input level, I've got this set up on pre-fader. Okay. And the reason being, if you guys ever work with digital recorders, the Zoom H6, Tascam D70s, D40s, they have what they call a save feature built in. which is going to actually record that at 12 dBs lower than what you have it set at. That way, in case you have any clipping that goes on, you'll still have a usable audio file, okay? So let's go ahead and clear this solo out over here. And as we're looking at this, I want you to look at the main fader right over here on the right. I can pull this all the way down. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with this recorder. The signal coming in is due to the input gains that I have set for it. So I'm just going to bring this back up to 0. I just wanted to show you that real fast since we're there. Okay. So let's get up to routing. This is the thing. This is where I got lost. Okay. The card, you know, if you've watched my videos, it always mimics your inputs. Well, here's my inputs. So on my card, we're going to take input, outputs, or the source, which is the output on the card, 1 through 8. And we're going to move it over here to user out. Okay. Now, the reason we're picking 1 through 8 is because remember what I said, that when you're using your streaming audio, it's looking for the inputs on the device as input 1 and 2. Okay. So we need the USB card 1 and 2. From there, we go to user out. Okay, as you can see right over here on out, that's what it is, output source. And on the video that Dave was doing, his will actually tell you it goes to card out 1 and card out 2. Okay, this doesn't. All right, this does not show you that. So as you can see right here, we're taking output 1 is mix bus 5 post fader. Output 2 is mix bus 6 post fader. And that's it. So those were the 3 mouse clicks that I was talking about. The card, you simply bring the source, the output over to user out 1 through 8. Come to user out. Under your out tab, click output 1 is mix bus 5. Now, guys, this is whatever mix bus you want to use. If you want to use mix bus 1 and 2, then you would set up 1 and 2 the same way that I've set up 5 and 6. Okay? So when you do that, and then you come over here and click on this, as you can see, I've raised all of these up into the sends on fader. Okay? But up here, everything is pulled down. We're adding these effects into this stream. But these effects are only going to come in over here on the FX sends. FX 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? And that's how you're going to control that amount of reverb or whatever effects that you want to put in. Okay? And this works for all of your effects 1 through on the banks 1 through 4. Okay. If I wanted to come in here to bus 13, that is on FX1 right here. As you can see, FX1. And let me come back up here. Now I'm going to pull this down to 0. As you can see, I've got the signal coming in there. I'm going to put on my headphones so I can actually hear what the effect's going to sound like. Okay, I'm going to come over here to the bus and I'm going to solo it out. Now, here's another thing, guys. And again, I'm not switching back and forth, but this is something that you need to do. Over here on the monitor, when I have this, I dim this by 12 dBs. Because when you solo out a channel or you solo out a bus, then it's going to be much louder than when it's playing with everything else. Okay? And here I've got the mix bus solo AFL, which is after final listen. And same up here, my monitor source is the left and right after final listen. So now I can come up here and I can actually hear how much of this is going in. So if we want to be in a little room, we can be like that. If we want to be in a great big room, we can be like that. Okay. So I'm just going to bring this down, kind of blend these two in a little bit here. And what I'm doing, guys, is I'm adding depth into this live stream. Okay. So then when we come back over here, everything's done. I can clear the solo. And now that's it. That's the way you do it. Okay. I don't think I've left anything out here. Up on the mixer, everything's coming through just like it should. The mixer view, you can see my gate up here coming in. Over here on the raw, that's exactly what it is. And not that it matters, guys, because Reaper's going to record it raw regardless. Okay, that's why if I come up here and on the raw, you see I've got the gate active. But yet, that gate does not work. If you'll notice the noise floor over in Reaper, okay, you'll see that that noise floor is still high. Let's take a look at that real quick. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just be silent. We'll watch this noise floor. If that gate was working, then it would not be coming in. My noise floor would be low. Much lower than what it is right now. And as you can see, it's right there around that -50. Okay. So I hope this has cleared things up. Also, I've got that muted on the drums. As you can tell, you can't hear them coming into this video unless I unmute them, but they're still coming in the Reaper. So again, for your dolls, that is the tap point. Okay, whatever your input device is into the cable, into the X32 input, okay, through the preamp, directly out of the card into your doll. All right. So guys, if you want to learn more about this, come on over to danatucker.com. We do this all the time. We do this one-on-one via Zoom. We can walk you through the process, and if I don't know it, I guarantee you I'll find out. That's one of the things I love about doing this, is it gives me the opportunity to research a lot of things that I truly would have never thought to do myself, simply because I don't use them. Okay? So, take care, God bless, and we are out of here.